across the middle, incomplete, intended for Coates. Broken up by Montgomery. And it's 4th down. And the Blue Devils send on the kicking unit. Jason Weissert on to attempt the field goal. Ball will be spotted at the 15, so it'll be a 25-yard attempt. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So a 25-yard field goal by Jason Weissert with 4:16 left in the ball game. Makes the score Grosse Pointe South 24 and East Detroit nothing. And I'm not sure, but I think a field goal at this point of the game constitutes running it up a little bit. 4:16 left, up by 3 touchdowns, and you go for the 3-pointer. I'd say that might be running it up a tad. 24-0 Blue Devils now, leading the Shamrocks here on homecoming. Kyle Showmaker to kick off. Showmaker's been one of the defensive heroes today for Grosse Pointe South with 3 interceptions. Returned one of them 65 yards for a touchdown. John Belcher just nailed up across the 25. And Belcher slow in getting up, and understandably so. And after he took a couple of shots, and Belcher down right now. .410 to play in the ball game. It has not been a stellar season for the home teams on the game of the week this year in football. Belcher walking off under his own power, a good sign. We're going to finish the year 1-5. East Detroit will have dropped both their appearances, this one here today and back early in the season to Mount Clemens. Centerline dropped both their game of the week appearances to Madison and to Clawson. St. Clement came out with a split, beating St. Mary's, but losing to Redford St. Agatha in a game that meant a prep bowl berth. There's a mix-up in the Shamrock backfield, and Burroughs is slow getting up after he lost 4-3, call it, 2nd down and 13. At Grosse Pointe South, we mentioned early in the game and mentioned it a few times, they are a big ball club. They have the Shamrocks outweighed across the field. And East Detroit, if there was a turning point in this one, it probably came on that Shamrock drive to begin the 2nd quarter when East Detroit controlled the ball for 7 minutes and 55 seconds and came away empty. They were still trailing just 7-0 at the time. Controlled the ball for almost 8 minutes and came away with nothing to show for it. And after that, shortly after that, Showmaker had his 65-yard interception return for the touchdown, and that pretty much iced it, even though it was still only halftime. 14-0 Grosse Pointe South. You got the feeling East Detroit just wouldn't be able to rebound. Burroughs rolling right, throws over the middle, complete to Dave Nims for a 1st down up near the 30. In fact, ball will be spotted right at the 30. And check it, that's still 6 yards shy of the 1st down. And so it's 4th down and 6 for East Detroit, a 7-yard completion. Clock continues to roll. Now stopped for a moment as we have an equipment timeout. 2:07 to play in the ball game. And now we wind it up again. On a 4th and 6 for East Detroit from their own 30. Burrows rolling this way, throws complete to Koss, and he will have the first down. Brought down by Brian Callahan, but a 7-yard gain out to the 37 and an East Detroit first down. Burrows has hit 4 out of 7 passes today. 2 passes have been intercepted, 28 yards passing for Chris. Koss has now caught 4 passes for 37 yards. He's the leading Shamrock receiver. Down to a 1.5 left in this one now. Burrows straight drop. Burrows in trouble, now flushed out, flags on the play. It's going to be a hold as he finds Koss across midfield, but again, it's going to come back because the Shamrocks are nabbed for holding. 8th penalty of the ball game. For 90 yards. And with 1:20 to go, the clock stops while they'll march this one off. Eight penalties for 90 yards against East Detroit. South has also been flagged 8 times for 65 yards. Point of infraction foul, so it's first down, very long, almost 25 for East Detroit. In fact, it is 1st and 25. Ball at the 22, they have to get to the 47. Clock rolling again, we're down to a minute left in this one. Ball handed off to Matt Jakowski, who pulls forward for about 5 out to the 27. It'll bring up second down. And East Detroit calls timeout with 42 seconds to play. Shamrocks, 6 different players have rushed the ball today. 5 different Shams have caught passes, but they have yet to get on the scoreboard, trailing it 21-0. Just 1 game left in the Shamrock season. That will be this coming Friday night. Shamrocks at home to take on Riverview. There you see the scoreboard, 24-0 Blue Devil lead with just that much left in the ball game. Doesn't get easier for the Shams next week. As we say, they take on Riverview, a Class B school, but a Class B school that's ranked in the top 10 in the state currently. And then the Shamrock season will end. They will finish 2-5 in the Eastern Michigan League with this loss today. They beat Anchor Bay, they beat Roseville. And they will be 2-6 overall after this one also today, entering the final week of the season. Grosse Pointe South will finish 6-1 in the Eastern Michigan League, losing only to league champion Port Huron Northern. And the Blue Devils will be 6-2 overall. They lost their opening non-league game to Edsel Ford. Montgomery breaks this one out near midfield before Callahan shoves him out of bounds. Montgomery picks up 23 yards to midfield, longest Shamrock rush of the ball game. Longest Shamrock play from scrimmage of the ball game. And it's a first down East Detroit at midfield with 34 seconds to play. Shams still have 2 timeouts remaining also, as they try to get the ball in the end zone here at least once today. Kale wide right. Mondalek wide left. Pitch back to Belcher. Belcher with room up the middle. Down close to the 30 to the 32. 18-yard pickup for Belcher. And another Shamrock first down. 25 seconds left in the ball game. Well, did we have a flag on the play? The referees are discussing something. Now they're waving one of the Shams off the field. They're coming over to talk things over with Coach Casanovas and the referee in the Shamrock huddle, and I don't know what is going on here. There's well, right now there's about 12 Shamrocks on the field, but yeah, there is right now, but there was no flag on the play, I don't believe, or was there? Well, indeed, there was a penalty against East Detroit, and it might have been for 12 men on the field. Illegal substitution, 12 men on the field. Take away the 18-yard gain for Belcher, and it's 1st and long, back inside the 40 with the clock rolling again. Could be the game's final play. Burrows pitches to Belcher, and Belcher gets back across midfield to the original line of scrimmage, but that's going to do it for this one. Grosse Pointe South spoils the Shamrock homecoming, scoring in every quarter as they beat the Shamrocks 24-0 here on TV3. East Detroit 2-5 finishes up in the Eastern Michigan League. They're now 2-6 overall with a game left. Grosse Pointe South finishes the league season 6-1 in second place in the league, and they are 6-2 overall with also one game left in the season. Once again, our final score: Grosse Pointe South 24, East Detroit 0. For Mark Dixon, Colleen Van Daneveld, John Goebel, Gene.
By side in Detroit's Labor Day parade for years. And although Dukakis will miss the parade, his supporters say he won't miss the rally at Hart Plaza because he realizes just how important Michigan is to his campaign.
Michigan is one of the most important states in the Union as far as the Democrats are concerned. Michigan is a pivotal state for anybody, but for Democrats, it is extremely important. And if we have to sell our program in this state to really be successful.
Dukakis' opponent, Vice President George Bush, will not be in town for Labor Day, but his running mate will. Senator Dan Quayle has been invited to march in the Hamtramck Polish Day Parade tomorrow. It's tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. Afterwards, he will talk with voters in Macomb County before leaving Michigan. George Bush will officially kick off his campaign tomorrow on the West Coast. Mary?
It's getting down to the wire for teachers in several Metro Detroit school districts who are still without contracts tonight. Failure to reach agreements could delay the start of school year for thousands of students. But as Channel 7's Ken Ford reports, state education leaders are less concerned about negotiations and more concerned about the future of quality education in our state.
1,600,000 Michigan students are scheduled to be back in classrooms by next Tuesday. Most, but not all, will be there when school bells ring. There is a possibility that in 7 school districts in the Detroit metropolitan area, teachers may not be in classrooms when students arrive. Negotiators for teachers and boards in 3 Wayne County districts are talking this weekend, still without contracts. In Oakland County, Pontiac, Troy, and Lake Orion have yet to reach agreement. And St. Clair County's East China teachers and board have failed to come to terms. Difficulties, yes, but Michigan State Superintendent of Education isn't concerned.
Teachers' strikes are going to go away. They're going to go away this year. As I said, there's never been a time when we didn't have those kids back in school. But we have to have them back in school under equitable conditions. That's the longer range problem.
As Donald Bemis sees it, the real problem in Michigan schools is not teacher strikes, but the quality of education.
We can no longer tolerate a situation where approximately 500,000 students in the state of Michigan are being educated in an inadequate and substandard way.
Donald Bemis is content to let time take care of teacher contract differences in school districts like this one. His #1 concern remains the quality of education in Michigan school districts. He knows it'll be expensive to make improvements, and so he's advising Michigan's voters to be ready to go to the polls next March, ready to vote on an increase in the state sales tax. In Troy, I'm Ken Ford, Channel 7 Action News reporting.
Contract talks between Wade State University and 2 of its major unions remain deadlocked tonight. Negotiators were at the bargaining table today, but little progress was reported with either the striking clerical workers or the professors' union. School is scheduled to open on Tuesday, and the teachers have said they will not report for work without a contract. There's no word tonight when negotiations will resume. Both unions want higher wages. Guy?
Some very trying times could lie ahead for members of the debt-ridden Gilead Baptist Church in Taylor. As soon as this week, church officials could decide to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy. During today's service, tears